Boom! Guess who stepped in the room? It's a cow, hailing from the shallow now. If you need a killer beat on the MIC with the BI double to the KBBB. Hey, almost. I almost nailed it. Almost. Hey, even Simone Biles don't nail them all. Psych. Of course she does. What's up, everybody? It is the Friday edition of Burn It Down with Kim Brown. This is a safe space where we set oppression ablaze on this Good Friday, June 21st, still in the middle of the summer solstice, beloveds. Hope you guys are enjoying the first day of summer. Chances are you are not, because 2/3 of the country is under an excessive heat dome. So please do what you can to not only try to keep yourself, your family, your elders, your neighbors, your pets cool as possible, and most importantly, hydrated as possible. Check on your elders out here, and of course, don't leave your pets outside or your children for that matter. Well, I don't know. There was kids outside playing early. I mean, the kids seem to be okay. Your animal probably will not be okay. So don't do that, please and thank you. Hope you guys are doing well, feeling well today. Looking good, Billy Ray. Feeling good, Lewis. Good, good. I love to hear it. Let me see who up in this joint. Come on in here, chat. Love to see y'all. Push some buttons, please. And Frank Goose. What else am I trying to say? I forget. Got a good show for y'all today. So I know you guys have heard about these universal basic income programs that a lot of cities, usually democratically led cities, have been enacting. And it got me wondering. I saw a recent story, or actually a story from this week coming out of Denver, and I thought it was kind of interesting. Big up to Learn Life Abby out there in the CO. Howsomever, we were talking, the previous story we did, we talked about Denver's homeless population, but how disproportionately that Black folks, Hispanic folks, and I believe it was Hawaiians are interestingly overrepresented in Denver's homeless population relative to their overall portion that they are in the population generally. Well, over the past year, and I think some change, Denver, actually maybe 2 years, coming up on 2 years by now, Denver rolled out a UBI program made available to 800 Coloradians. And of course, what happens when you give people money, no strings attached? Do they snort it up? Not usually. They pay their fucking bills. They do what they need to do in order to survive. They pay the things and pay for the things that will help to benefit their life. Why is all of us, yes, I said why is, why is all of us not receiving UBI? I think that should be standard in the United States, especially in these times. And I'm beginning to see the cracks in which folks, white folks in particular, who have long held the belief in the United States, in the ethos of the United States, upholding the principles of capitalism. I own a business and blah, blah, blah. Even them whites is having a hard time. We're going to get into it a little bit later in the program. I also want to point out some things. The latest, I can't even call it the latest, the ongoing elements of the horrific genocide against Palestinians being committed by Israelis. Netanyahu continues to pop shit. And the records continue to be kept and documented about the Israeli war crimes and how these war crimes are being fully done under the cover and with the assistance of the United States. The United States is currently enabling a genocide. And if we're not careful, they're going to try to re-genocide Black and brown folks on this continent. The settler colonial playbook has been executed right here on North American soil. Yes, we know. And South American soil. Yes, we know. Being executed right now in occupied Palestine and occupied Gaza. And because of all the let's say, contamination between Israeli forces and American domestic forces, why wouldn't they do the same thing that they're doing to the Palestinians here to so-called undesirable populations in the United States. We can't put nothing past these folks, everybody. So I'm gonna get into that in a little bit. Um, and there's a particular place that I want to start, and I'm just gonna start it after I say what's up, because I'm in the chat. What's that? Do me a favor, everybody. Get in here and engage. What's up? Oh, I see my favorite whites checking in. You better come through, Franny French. You better come through, Stoner Lord. I got 3 in a row. What's up, Holly? What's up, y'all? Oh, 4 in a row. There go Dawn. All my favorite, y'all all came in together. Who was driving? Damien, who drove? Peace, James. There go some of my favorite brubs. Love to see that. Sweary Fairy, one of my sisterin. Love to see it. Thank you guys for coming in here and making the time. Noli D in the motherfucking house. Love to see that. Sugar Shan up in this house. What's up, Sugar Shan? Thank you so much for being here. Love to the All Stars. And speaking of the All Stars, you guys, not now, but I'm going to push it again. And I want to thank everybody that has run contributions to help Ricky Ryan get a revolutionary ride. This fundraiser has done in a couple weeks. I am impressed. That's all I can say. I am impressed. Y'all, that's what's up. I love it. So anyway, we're gonna hit y'all in the head with that one more time. Because it's important, and we're really close. Like super close. I mean, yeah. Just, as long as we keep our head to the sky, we can win and be optimistic. Hey, Wendy, how you doing? Thank you so much for being here. Big up to there go Abby. Abby, you heard your name, did you? Abby said you rang. Yes, I rung, girl. Get your ass in here. Shout out to Armand. Shout out to Latif, Courtney, my son Tyler. Big up to my nibblings. Isn't that what they call isn't that the gender non-specific term for your nieces and nephews? Nibblings. So shout out to the nibblings. I go, is Alicia in here? Shout out to 40J Blaze. 40J Blaze, I don't know how old you are. You may not can be my nephew. Shout out to Don Him, and I don't see Don in here. But then y'all be coming through whenever, and that's fine. There go Courtney. Hey, Courtney. I'd be so happy to see you guys. Thank you guys so much for your continued and ongoing support for everything. You guys are the reason for the season. And I love you, man. Love you guys. You guys are great. So anyway, let me sit up straight here and get to this first fucking story. Guys, engage with the content, hit like, subscribe to Burn It Down with Kim Brown here on YouTube. Shout out to the folks following us different places on Twitch, Instagram, Facebook at BIDWKB. What's going on Twitter at Burn It Down KB. So, gang, it's election season. Did you know? Have you been made aware that we are in the middle of a presidential election? And like clockwork, it is time for the Democrats in particular, though it seems the Republicans are doing something in the way of trying to accomplish some sort of black outreach, I guess. Howsoever, what the Democrats do is classic, and you can set your watch to the shit, right? Time to start pandering to Negroes, right? Time to start showing up at the black church. Where the fuck y'all been at for the past 4 motherfucking years? Time to start ringing the bell about a myriad of wedge issues, cultural issues, the culture war issues, abortion. The Democrats didn't give a fuck about no goddamn abortion until Roe versus Wade was overturned. And another issue that the Democrats nibble at the edges around has to do with that of gun violence. Right now, everyone who lives in America is well aware of how violent a place America is. Depending on where in America you live, you know this way more acutely. If you live in an urban setting, you may know it. Also, if you live in a red state setting, you also may know this because, they give it out guns at the goddamn Piggly Wiggly upon checkout. It's no rules here in America. Damien, it's dangerous. Don't come over here. Our UK friends, stay where you are. America is not well. So, anywho, Kamala has been put on the job. September of 2023, the Biden administration created the White House Office of Anti-Gun Violence Prevention, some sort of word salad throwing gun violence and prevention and anti and White House and all that shit in there. They made Kamala in charge of that shit, right? They said we need something for her to fucking do. We need some. Where can Kamala do the least amount of damage and harm? Okay, we'll put her on guns, and absolutely go nowhere fucking issue. But it sounds good because it panders to Black people because our communities are disproportionately impacted by gun violence. But the gag is the approach that has been taken by liberal Democrats in particular, but not just limited to them, but they are the ones driving this truck at the moment. The approach has been to just throw niggas in jail, throw everybody with possession of guns in jail, right? That is, if you, I wonder if you let out all the possession of firearms folks out of jail, how much would the jail and penitentiaries be depleted? Everybody, probably by 2/3, right? America's war on guns is a farce because there are more guns in this country than there are people. There is never a way to get rid of the guns. Okay, and as soon as the country as a whole, liberals in particular, erase this fantasy from their dreams. Wake up! It's a nightmare. You're never going to be able to collect 400 million guns. It's not going to happen. But it doesn't stop the panda machine from operating like clockwork. So let's go to Atlanta this week, where Kamala shared a stage with rapper Quavo. I sound so middle-aged. With rapper Quavo of the rap trio Migos. So we know, unfortunately, one of the members of Migos, Takeoff, was murdered, I think about 2 years ago, next to Quavo. They was all in the spot together, and he got shot and killed very tragically. Unfortunately, one of many rappers over the past several decades that have been taken via gun violence, right? So in his wake, in Takeoff's wake, Quavo has created the Rocket Foundation, something that aims to address tackling gun violence, which sounds great, right? It sounds awesome. It sounds like a good endeavor. But when you contrast it against Quavo's latest album, of which the new single is titled Mink, and he is still very much glorifying gun violence, I was confused. I said, this is a bit of a contradiction. But first, before we get into all of that, let's take a look. Oh, and can I apologize to y'all in advance? Oh, y'all go hear some Kamala. I'm sorry. Don't turn away. I had to watch this shit. Y'all gotta watch a little bit of this shit. I think we're gonna watch maybe 3-ish minutes of Kamala and Quavo. And when I tell you that Kamala is about to spew, is it vintage Democratic rhetoric at this point? All, the universal background checks, the red flag laws. I'm like, I've been hearing this for like 30 some years at least. And what advancements have been made policy wise on doing anything, quote unquote, about gun violence? I know the Biden administration did have a Supreme Court victory today. I'm going to mention that here in a second. But so Will's going to take us up. Will, put me down in the corner where I wish I could give you this feeling. I wish I could give you this feeling. On the corner, niggas robbing, stealing, dying just to make a living. Huh? So here we go. Kamala and Quavo in Atlanta to what seemed to be a full room of unfortunately misguided individual. Deeply misguided. So we have Kamala here, the vice president of the United States. The I guess you could say, is she the top of the Black misleadership, given that she holds the highest elected public office? Let's give her that. Yes, she is the head. She is the pinnacle of the Black misleadership, and she's sharing a stage with Quavo, who is the perfect example of why celebrities need not be paid attention to in terms of when they try to speak about so-called serious issues, consequential issues, social issues, you cannot listen to them because they're full of shit, because they will still very much capitalize off of the thing that they claim to be speaking out against. And these are not folks that should be role models for your children. These should not be people whose even mumble raps you try to remember and recite, beloveds. We have to throw them into the garbage can post haste. But I shall speak less and let Kamala speak more. Let's go, Will.
Survivors and the pain that is associated with gun violence in America is almost unspeakable. And it is everywhere. And what Quavo has been doing with the Rocket Foundation to translate that pain and that grief into something that is about creating strength and empowerment in the community, including among our young people, is really extraordinary. As I said to you that day, Quavo, in my office, that you have chosen to use your celebrity, the gift that you have as an artist, to talk about and actually work on with action this issue is really extraordinary. You are an incredible leader and a national leader on this. And I thank you for that as the head of the first White House office.
Pause that. Obviously, Kamala has not heard Quavo's new record because she's talking about he's using his celebrity, his gift, not his natural ability, because as it comes to rapping, he clearly has none. I heard the goddamn record, okay? That shit is garbage. So I'm assuming she means the gift that the elites have bestowed upon this black man, right? The gift of celebrity. Now you have been elevated to the ranks of celebrity. So that automatically makes you a leader, says Kamala Harris. A leader of what, baby? A leader of a foundation that contradicts the whole way that he got his money by glorifying, listen, by glorifying gun violence. Now, let me be clear. You guys already know I'm 40 fucking 5 years old. I grew up in the height of gun violence rap music, misogynistic rap music, not very uplifting rap music. I'm not offended by him glorifying gun violence. I'm used to it. I suppose on some level I'm numb to it, but it's let's not put his career and the reason why he's famous, ergo him glorifying gun violence, in the same sentence as you're using your celebrity to tackle gun violence. Bitch, please. I'm sorry. Resume, Kamala. She's patting herself on the back because Joe Biden gave her something to do for the past 9 months. Let's go.
Of gun violence prevention and as Vice President of the United States.
Thank you.
Boo.
Really?
Boo.
Really?
Boo.
And so this issue is, well, let me just start with this. It doesn't have to be this way. And we have to hold on to and remember that. It does not have to be this way.
And yet
we cannot ever normalize this. We cannot ever get used to it.
Too late.
And we certainly cannot accept it.
We drill in schools for this.
We need to understand that
it is normal.
Everyday gun violence is as serious as mass shootings, that any life lost, any life that has been impacted by gun violence is one life too many. We have to think about this in the many ways that the injury occurs, which includes, of course, the tragedy of life that is lost, but also the trauma that is an additional form of injury.
And where can people seek
that can
treatment?
Exist for a lifetime if we don't put resources into calling it what it is?
What's that?
And putting the resources into diagnosis and treatment.
So where is those resources?
Let's think about it in terms of...
Let's think about it.
The tragedy that gun violence in America is the #1 killer of the children of America.
And what is the Biden administration doing about it?
Not car accidents, not cancer, gun violence.
Oh, they formed a office.
1 in 5 Americans has a family member that was killed by gun violence. Gun violence, Black victims of gun violence, 10 times more likely to be a victim of gun violence.
Why
So
is
it's
that,
a real
Kamala?
issue that requires everybody's priority in terms of addressing it. And there are many ways to do it.
What
that
are they?
include also what we need to do around election time.
Right. Don't forget the reason for the season.
Recognizing that too
That was
many
her.
people who I will call cowards
Ooh.
have been pushing this false choice to suggest you're either in favor of the Second Amendment or you want to take everyone's guns away. That's a false choice. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I also believe there is no reason why we have assault weapons on the streets of America.
Because it makes money.
Of war.
It makes money.
We need an assault weapons ban. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and we need universal background checks. I'm in favor of the Second Amendment, and we need red flag laws.
Woo, I've heard this so many times for so long.
And we need the people in the United States Congress to have the courage to stand up to the gun lobbyists.
But they won't, and they've shown that they won't.
Action.
But they won't.
Around what is just reasonable. Universal background checks. You just might want to know before someone can buy a lethal weapon. If they've been found to be a danger to themselves or others, you just might want to know. That's reasonable.
You're trying to reason with psychopaths. That's unreasonable.
Assault weapons. Assault weapons are designed to kill
psychopaths.
A lot of people quickly. There's no place for them in the neighborhoods and the streets where people live and go to school and worship.
Oh my
We've
God.
seen what they do. So there are solutions, and that part of the work that I'm doing with the Gun Violence Prevention Office at the White House is to work on those solutions, including what we have recently done through that office, which is to put $1 billion into hiring mental health counselors in our public schools to help address the mental health aspect of this.
But why just public schools? That's nice, but why just public schools? Wait, we got a commercial. Sorry, but keep it. Yeah, let's skip through the commercial because I think Quavo gonna say a little something. Let me just say this real quick. Hold fast there, Will. Is it me? Is it me? I feel as though these are the gun control talking points of the Clinton administration. Like all of this feels very 90s. Definitely Obama, etc. Fuck, let's even throw W in there because I believe it was W. Bush who did sign the assault weapons ban, right? It's so everything is upside down, for God's sakes. There is no getting control of the guns, guys. This is all election time rhetorical speak aimed specifically at the Black community because we are disproportionately impacted by the gun violence, right? At least on an individual basis, right? Do the majority of the mass shootings happen in Black neighborhoods? Not no, but some do, right? They just had that big mass shooting. Where was that? Outside of Detroit at the splash pad. Anyway, but my point is tens of thousands of people die from gun violence every year. That number has not dissipated at all. And it is clear when she talks about the cowards in Congress. There are Democrats that are part of that cowardly contingent to which she is referring to. And at what point are Democrats going to abandon trying to find a legislative solution to the gun violence problem? This is a healthcare problem. And I understand there is as much of a chance as a universal healthcare solution passing Congress as there is any sort of meaningful gun control. But on either front, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what are we doing? The Biden administration needs to be applying not $1 billion to hire mental health professionals to work in public schools. That sounds great. But, maybe if a sliver, half, maybe all of the many billions that have been sent to both Israel and Ukraine could be best reapplied to the mental health crisis that is engulfing this nation. You're never going to get the guns off the street, but I bet if people knew that they had unfettered access to mental health services, I would wager big money that the amount of gun violence would go down. Because the gun violence is a response to poor coping skills, poor emotional expression, poor expressions of in how they respond to anger and rejection and hurt and all kinds of things. But it's a mental health solution. It's not a gun. Get the guns off the street. We need universal background checks. All that shit sounds great. That shit doesn't fucking work. The number of mass shooters in this country who have been allowed to take countless lives oftentimes purchase those guns legally. And I don't know how many examples or instances of that we need to see before these motherfuckers in Washington, on Capitol Hill, and in the White House really fucking understand that no matter how many laws you slap on the books for guns, there are too many guns out here to eradicate guns. And oftentimes the laws that you think is going to do something ain't doing jack fucking shit. That piece of shit in Uvalde who shot up Robb Elementary School bought that shit legally. That racist piece of shit who shot up the top supermarket in Buffalo, New York, bought that shit legally. And the list goes on. So your laws are bullshit. They don't work. And that's how I know Joe Biden and the Biden administration are not serious about this issue, because they put Kamala bum ass working on an issue that is a go nowhere fucking issue. And they're trying to make it an election issue, and they're trying to use the death of this rapper Takeoff to help spur the black vote. This is what Democrats think of y'all. They're trying to get the Quavo vote, okay? They're trying to get the fucking Quavo vote. And I need y'all to miss me with this bullshit. But let's hear what the young man got to say. He ain't that young. He's 33. But let's see what we talking about.
I'm a victim. I got a second chance. I feel like I wouldn't be here if everybody, you know what I'm saying, it would have. I just look at myself as like, when I saw him land there, I felt like I saw me land there. So I feel like when I'm doing something like the Rocket Foundation, I just want to uplift his legacy and make sure to keep his name alive. So that's why we're here.
It's alive and well. Speaking of legacies, Madam Vice President, gun violence causes trauma and deeply impacts our mental health, and especially true for young folks who are going through active shooter drills, that are losing their friends and families at such a young age. And you have spent your career, I would argue most of your life, working on this issue. As district attorney, 20 years of pouring into efforts to be smart about how we prevent violence and really elevating the national model for how we deal with stress and trauma amongst our youth. I also just want to mention, as California Attorney General, you created the Bureau of Children's Justice to shape the state's response to the crisis of childhood exposure to trauma. And as the Vice President, you continue to emphasize the importance of addressing the trauma that too many of us have faced with gun violence. And so we'd love for you to talk a little bit more about how you've been fighting to prioritize mental health and really resources and support to help those who have been impacted by trauma.
Mm-hmm. Well, gun violence in the neighborhood, in the community, without any question, results in trauma. And you just think about trauma as being an invisible wound, but a wound nonetheless. And like any wound, if it does not heal in a healthy way, it will continue to be a problem. I will say that there are many sources of trauma. Poverty is trauma-inducing. When you start compounding sources of trauma, then you can just imagine how the trauma is even more severe. So let's speak truth about that as well. But, you know, on the issue of what I've seen in particular about the trauma that comes from exposure to violence, you know, some people will simplify the point of post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD. And one of the ways that I've heard it simplified, but it makes sense, is imagine every day you're walking across a very busy street, and out of nowhere, a Mack truck comes barreling down. Without reflection, you'll produce what's called a cortisol. Your body will absolutely just react without reflection, and you'll jump back. But if every day at different points in times that Mack truck comes, you're going to overproduce that thing. That is the thing that your body is designed to do to help you deal with stress.
You know what? I'm getting stressed listening
But
to her.
when you
Will, that's enough. Can we
overproduce
stop
it
this?
one day,
I'm sorry. My apologies. If you guys want to go back and watch Kamala muddle through that explanation of PTSD, you guys are welcome to do that. I think I've had quite enough. I've heard quite enough out of the vice president and from Quavo today. And let me be clear here. I'm not unsympathetic to this young man losing his family member to gun violence. I'm not unsympathetic to that at all. My issue is this. My issue is the ridiculous contradiction between what Quavo is sitting up there next to Kamala in front of an audience being presented to us as a leader. Him and her both. I laugh at the idea of either of them being leaders, but okay. Both of them being presented to us as leaders, but one who actually holds, I guess, I won't say political power, but at least an office, is doing fuck all about it, right? And has done fuck all about it, except for put people in jail throughout her political career. And this one, the rapper, this fucking week, this nigga has dropped a record. Now, I will do me a favor, pull up the Mink lyric video. Because I would like to play y'all some of this record, but we know YouTube is what, kids? A ho-ho. That is correct. And YouTube, ho-ass, YouTube, spell it right in the transcript, H-O-E, YouTube ho-ass, will absolutely ding the channel with a copyright claim if we were to play this song. And in some instances, I think you guys, you know what? We should actually thank YouTube for not allowing us to listen to this as it, as it is, because it's terrible. But hold on, it's not terrible. Well, hold on, let me slow down. So Wilbert is going to narrate, and in this production, everybody, the part of Quavo will be played by Will Arenas. So Will,
hold your applause. Hold your applause. Thank you.
So this pleasure. Thank you, Will. We appreciate you blessing us with your narration skills today.
Okay, I'm gonna do my best. It's been a long day.
So the piece is titled Mink. And this is the last that we're starting 1 minute 44 seconds into the song, because whatever. And I just want Will just to read us the lyrics and juxtapose these lyrics against what you just heard Quavo say on stage about gun violence and stopping gun violence while he was sitting next to Kamala. Will, the stage is yours, my brother.
Thank you. Thank you. First of all, tonight I will be presenting to you. Nah. All right. So we got, y'all see on the screen already. It's crazy. Is I can make that pistol pop, nigga, clear the crowd. Bow, bow, bow. I feel like that gets the point across. More of the song, because I heard the beat make you do an ugly face. I can make that pistol pop, nigga, clear the crowd. Okay, he said it again. All right.
Yes,
he does. Did. You know. She gonna make that pussy pop, bring them racks back out, bow, bow. Okay, all right. Enterprising young lady, a little bit of pussy.
Well, enough of the commentary. I just need you to read the lyrics, my nigga. I just need you to read the lyrics. You're giving me too much commentary. Go ahead.
I was working a trap, never worked a plan B. Don't forget your strap, boy, playing in these streets. Okay. Bow, 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 bow.
He's doing a bunch of ad libs here, like, like he actually spitting something. I'm like, nigga, what? What? Why you act like you out of breath?
You trying to steal Rick Ross' flow? It's crazy.
That might be it, Will. I think that was
That's
that
it.
was
Oh,
yeah.
just the beat. Okay.
Yeah, well, fuck the beat. We can't play the song because, like I said, YouTube will ding us. And I'm not taking no copyright strike for no fucking Quavo. You know what I'm saying? Nah, absolutely not. But you guys, if you are, thank you so much, Will, for lending us your voice.
I'm putting this on the invoice. Like I performed. I had to go in front of people
and talk about pussy popping. Yes, so sorry. I'm sorry.
Bow. I don't even talk like that. I don't even know if you know me like that, but I'm with you. All right. See y'all later.
Thank you so much to Will for lending us his talents. So what's interesting is, like I said, this is a new record for Quavo. And wait, can I offer some rap commentary, if I may, for a second? Indulge me. I listened to the song, and I'm not offended by the misogyny because I'm numb to it. I was a teenager in the 90s. I'm pretty much numb to the misogyny. I'm numb to the gun violence. So don't think that I have some content gripe with what Quavo was talking about from a rap fan aficionado perspective. It's a terrible fucking record. I don't know what it is about these younger rappers, and he ain't no baby. He's 33. This nigga rapping like he's 16. Nigga, you 30 fucking 3. Why is your flow sounding like you was born in 20 goddamn 10? It's embarrassing for these people to be calling themselves rappers. These motherfuckers not even rapping on the beat, bitch. Y'all niggas need to call this genre something else, okay? Because rap music requires a little bit of skill, and rapping on beat is at the bare minimum threshold of that skill. And if the trend and if the wave is for quote unquote rappers to not rap well, to not rap on beat, to not have a quality delivery or flow, then please, can we call this genre something else? Because this is not rap music. My rap music has standards, as in your presentation. I don't give a fuck the degrading, the ridiculous shit you may be rapping about, whatever. Spit that shit cleverly. Spit that shit with some skill, with some precision, with some panache. That shit is absent of style, of finesse, of ability, of everything. Go listen to that Quavo record. And I apologize in advance for even directing you to do so. That shit was trash. But more importantly, the contradictions. My nigga, is it Uchi Wally or is it one Mike? Can we be serious? Who am I supposed to believe here, Quavo? Am I supposed to believe mourning family member, grieving family member of your loved one who was taken from gun violence, but you, while talking out of one side of your neck, talk about I'm here to uplift his legacy, on the other side of the talk of your neck, talk about I'm gonna let off, clear the crowd. You better keep the strap on, you young boy out here in these streets. You still want to use capitalism to profit off of gun violence being marketed more broadly to younger listeners, and especially Black and brown listeners. If you were serious about addressing gun violence, you would address it firstly in your fucking music. But you're making too much money off of it. And now you're getting caught up in the motherfucking Black liberal wealthy person matrix. Now you a philanthropist. Now you got a foundation. Now you can collect a little bit of crumbs off the nonprofit side of things, off the foundation side of things. Now you get to move in circles with Kamala Harris while still rapping about shooting up the motherfucking club. And a shame, a pox on Kamala Harris, her staff, her team, the Biden White House, the Biden 2024 re-election campaign, because you goofy motherfuckers is out here outright playing in Black people's faces, which is nothing new, of course. But every time we see it, we need to say something about it. You call yourself out here seriously trying to do something about, or at least present to us that you are serious with these stale 30-year-old fucking policy suggestions. We need universal background checks. We need red flag laws. We need an assault weapons ban. Who the fuck is telling me this? Al Gore in a time machine from 95? Get the fuck out my face with this old shit. Y'all have lost legislatively on this issue. Give it up. Wave the white flag. It's time to move the ball if we're talking about solutions in a different direction, and it needs to be in the form of healthcare. And you hear them, Biden Harris, falling short again. Only $1 billion to hire mental health professionals in public schools. How many billions has Israel and Ukraine gotten? That's where your money is. It's disgusting, everybody. It is wild that the Biden-Harris campaign really thinks that you can win the black vote with the likes of a contradictory, lying-ass rapper. That's who they think is going to move the fucking needle for you darkies that's on the fence. y'all, for y'all acting like y'all soft on Joe Biden. Did you see Kamala with Quavo? Well, there you go. That should drive voter registration. And who the fuck knows? It might for some people, but it shouldn't. It absolutely shouldn't. Because trotting someone like Quavo out to speak about gun violence, simply because he is a survivor of gun violence, and not to say, again, he absolutely is entitled to have views, but I'm seeing what he is saying versus what he is doing. And to me, you cannot be rapping about guns in a favorable way, in a way that tries to make you appear as a big man, as a way that tries to encourage others maybe to carry guns and let off in the air so they can appear as big men, emphasis on men. so they can also appear as big men, and then tell me on the other side the very next day that you are serious about getting a hold of gun violence because you've been touched by it. Well, your pockets have been touched by capitalism, and clearly that the grief that you have suffered is not enough for you to change your tune because the money is too fucking good. But you can play in our face along with Kamala Harris, equally be playing in our faces, by the way, the black misleadership and the black celebrity class. And well, cue up Malcolm if you could. I mean, y'all have heard Malcolm say this. Y'all have heard Malcolm say this. But you cannot hear Malcolm say this enough. Okay. And again, there is different context here, but the principle absolutely still applies right now in 2024 to the black celebrity class, and also by extension, the black misleadership that's in politics. Will, let us hear from Brother Malcolm, please.
I just told you a little while ago, these leaders that they call leaders, this included Lena Horne, this included Dick Gregory, and this included comedians, comics, trumpet players, baseball players. Show me in the white community where a comedian is a white leader. Show me in the white community where a singer is a white leader, or a dancer or a trumpet player is a white leader. These aren't leaders. These are puppets and clowns that have been set up over the white community and over the black community by the white community, and have been made celebrities and usually say exactly what they know that the white man wants to hear.
Saying the things that they know that the white man wants to hear. The white man wants to hear these black puppets get in front of black audiences and tell black audiences that we're working on the problem, that we hear you, we understand, we take the issue very seriously, and then try to do little things. For example, part of the Biden policy was this domestic violence red flag law, right? Where people who had protective orders against them as it pertains to domestic violence were precluded from buying handguns. And this was challenged in the Supreme Court, and the court released the ruling this Friday, whatever day this is. What's today? Friday, the 21st of June, released the ruling of 8-1 upholding the Biden law, right? And I was somewhat watching this case because honestly, and this may sound strange coming from me, but it did not, to me, seem very consequential whether or not that law was upheld or whether it was struck down. And I'm going to tell you why. Because people with protective orders against them will find a way to get guns regardless. With 400 million guns in circulation, the sort of naivete that some of these elected officials approach the issue of keeping guns out of the hands of those people that are not supposed to have them, as though people that are not legally supposed to have guns are going to the fucking store and showing their ID to get the fucking gun. No, no, there is definitely more than one way to skin a cat. And I take personal issue with this law, this domestic violence, people with protective orders not being allowed to buy guns. This is why I think that law is equivalent to that roll of Charmin that's in my toilet that I will put upon my hind parts when the time comes. You guys know that I knew one of them, whatever, but I knew two men in the same year that I was acquainted with who murdered their wives in the same year. One of those men, the one that did not take their life after murdering their partners, he is alive and facing murder charges now in Harford County. And he had multiple protective orders against him from his wife, who he was not allowed to see, not allowed to be in proximity to, not allowed at the house, not allowed at her job. And he was to turn over all of his guns and not be allowed to have any guns. And somehow this woman ended up shot dead in her driveway. Isn't that amazing? She had a protective order, and the person whom the protective order was against was forced to give up their guns, and somehow, must have been magic, I don't know, they came up with a gun. And I say allegedly because this person has still not yet had a trial, but what I seen, it seems to be pretty convincing. But this person then allegedly murdered her in her driveway at her house where he was not supposed to be. So even if the law had been struck down or upheld, doesn't even really make a difference because it's a joke. Protective orders don't keep people safe. They do not keep women safe. Gun laws, writ large, do not keep society safe. So all of this talk is wrong-headed and misguided. We need to be talking about this holistically. Why is it that people reach for the gun? Because they have a poor grasp or hold of their emotions. The gun is the tool, it's the apparatus. And yeah, for those who say, well, if we just get rid of the guns, then nobody will be able to kill anybody. Sure, it sounds great. 400 million is the number. You understand? I don't think everyone is under 400 million. It would take hundreds of years. I'm not even, that's not hyperbole. That's facts. Hundreds of years to collect 400 million guns. Should it take hundreds of years to pass universal health care? No, it shouldn't. But at this pace, it very well fucking might. Hold these leaders accountable and tell them that you want actual shit done. Stop doing this with the Republicans and getting nowhere on this issue. It's time to move onward. It's time to get fucking creative. I need to move beyond universal background checks because them shits don't fucking work. Red flag laws do better, but a determined person can easily circumvent a law. And we've seen that happen lots and lots of times. So miss me with the black misleadership Kamala, giving the daps and the hugs, to the black celebrity misleadership, that of Quavo, who is talking out of both sides of his out of his neck and don't know whether or not it's Uchi Wally or is it fucking one mic. Let me take a break. Thank you to Lawbrarian and to Alicia for y'all's Cash App supports. Thank you so much to Dawn Bird. Donnie, didn't you send me some money last week or a couple? I had logged out, so I have two Cash Apps. the platform has its Cash App, and then I have my personal Cash App. So I had logged out of the platform Cash App and had forgot to log back in. And I looked and I was like, I saw notification. I'm like, oh shit, someone sent money. I need to go investigate. So thank you. Oh, Anna Hart, thank you so much for your Cash App support, baby. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are awesome. Hold on. And I know I have some other acknowledgments here because we got some new patrons and I don't want to forget you, but I am a stoner, so I think things do get forgotten. It does happen. It does happen. Will, do me a favor while I am searching for our new patron, because we did get them pluralized, etc. Pull up the forgot Ricky's fundraiser, please, if you could for me. Because gang, y'all have showed out. The fundraiser is more than halfway fully funded. We had set an ambitious goal of, I thought, was $5,000. I thought that was ambitious. And we had set a pretty significant time frame as well. We were aiming to raise this 5K by August, early August, when Ricky's birthday is, right? And you guys says, you know what, Kim, we ain't got time for all that. How about how about we fund this motherfucker to 3,600, damn near knocking on 3,700, what the last time I checked, in 2 weeks. I said, oh, well, look at y'all. I'm so impressed and so appreciative and so humbled and so affirmed by who you guys are, who the viewers of this platform are, who the viewers of the newly named Black Liberation Media are, who the members and supporters of some of these dope community organizations like Black Alliance for Peace, like PACA, DMV, like Community Movement Builders, like the AAPRP. Like, I'm so impressed with you guys because you have answered the call. I'm about to start preaching to y'all like the old girl, the little girl did at Winterfell in motherfucking Game of Thrones. Who answered the call? Y'all answered the call. You guys see the work that Ricky Ryan is doing out here, and you guys believed us when we told you it is very hard to be an outside the beltway person with no wheels. It's incredible. But that is a temporary condition, everybody, because Ricky's gonna get some wheels, and it's courtesy of y'all and courtesy of y'all. Over 60 people. I think the last time I looked, it was over 65 people, maybe 67 donors. I wanted to give it the little push to see if we could get 100 donors. I know I was telling y'all could make $2 donations. That is a lie. I'm sorry. I have given out some misinformation. No, GoFundMe said you got to run at least 5. Okay, cool. 5 it is. So if you got 5 on it, throw it down, baby. Throw it down. We are in the home stretch. Read the GoFundMe page to get an idea of how we envision the money breaking down in terms of the car, in terms of the other things that we hope to equip Ricky with as she, gets this whip and she be whipping and shit. So thank you all who has already sent donations. Some of you all incredibly generous. And regardless of the amount that you sent, it's generosity, y'all. Times is hard. Okay. Times is tight out here. So the fact that you threw something down on it, it's appreciated and it's recognized. And I want to thank you all and recognize everybody that did that. And thanks for the people that continue to support this platform as well. And Black Liberation Media. I have to call it by its whole government name because I cannot use that acronym in good conscience. not describing some shit I'm on. No. Black Liberation Media is whole government name. First, middle, and last is the only way I shall refer to the channel's new name. I'm searching the patrons. It's not happening. Hold on. Let me search again. PATRA. because I'm searching patron, not Patreon. You're silly, Kim. You're silly. PATREON. See, it helps if you spell things right. It helps. So, who we have here? Hold on. We got some folks that we'd like to acknowledge. Please stand when you hear your name. Hold on. Wait a minute. Now it's gonna make me open the email because it's I told you this thing be acting like a little 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 jerk sometimes. Not the patron, of course, the phone. Michael H. Michael H is a new patron. Michael H ran us some nice bucks too. Michael H, we see you. We thank you so much. Appreciate that. Who else do we have here? Does that say new patron as well? It does. Does that say Tammy? Tammy, thank you so much for your support. Tammy's a new patron. Ding, 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 ding. We appreciate that. Come on through. If you want to join us on Patreon, you certainly can do so. Patreon.com/BIDWKB. Hold on. I thought I had another new patron. I do. Hold on. This is, hold on. You know my process, you guys. It's arduous and tedious. Patricia T. Please stand and take a bow. Wave to the people. Thank you so much, Patricia T. You guys have come into the jam to show out. Ebony, have I already thanked you? I thought we had a new patron by the name of Ebony. Ebony, stand and be acknowledged. Thank you so much, Ebony, for your support. And thank you so much to everybody that has supported this channel and has continued to support this channel. I don't even know how old we are. How old are we, y'all? 3 years? We was birthed in late 2020, but see, we don't count our actual founding until we went solo. We went independent. So that was December 2020, January 2021. We at 2024. So yeah, we like 3 years into this, just us, you know. So thank you guys so much. It's kind of hard to believe we've been doing this for 3 years. This has actually been amongst my happiest that I have been. I will say that. I really enjoy being able to honestly come on here and be myself and not have to mask as professional. I can't say I can't say all my favorite words when I'm being professional and shit. And I don't like being professional. I mean, it's masking, right? Or what's the code switching? Whatever. I mean, whatever. But I don't enjoy that. I actually think that takes years off your life. I think masking and having to comport this image and behavior of professionality. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying don't be like polite and cordial and respectful. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you guys know what I'm talking about. When you are especially non-white in the working world, you have to comport yourself a little different. And that shit takes effort, okay? And it takes mindfulness. And it's not fun because Black people can't really be themselves. And that's why I kind of appreciate in the ways in which, you know, in some professions, people have said, fuck it. I'm absolutely going to be myself. Fuck this job. And I said, yep, go ahead, do that. I support all of that. So anyway, guys, thank you guys so much for everything. So I want us to turn and Will, do me a favor. If anybody runs a super chats, please highlight them, star them, so we can come back towards the end of the show and acknowledge and thank them. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Who we got in here? There go Court. Thank you, Courtney, for everything. Some Khatib, thank you so much for coming through. David motherfucking Silberg. David, what did you do? What was your Juneteenth penance, David? David, what did you do nice for the Black folks on Juneteenth? I need to know. And you can lie, because if you say nothing, I'm gonna tell Lateef to put you on timeout. So whatever you say, David Silberg, do not say I did nothing for the black folks on Juneteenth. You better get in here and tell a story. You better make something up, because I'm gonna tell the teacher to put you on timeout for 5 minutes. If you say nothing, that's not an acceptable answer. Truth and lies, only thing we're taking. What's up, Project Dystopia? Thank you so much for coming through. Alicia, thank you so much for everything. Of course, Frony Francis. Love you guys to pieces. John Kemper, what's up, man? Thank you so much for being in here. So, guys, do me a favor, like the video, engage with us here at Burn It Down with Kim Brown at BIDWKB around your internet streets, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch. Come fuck with me, follow me. I didn't like how that sounded, but whatever. Follow me. I mean, like, kick it with me. Sorry. Anyway, when the cursing gets out of control. So anyway, there's not enough cursing that can be done on the topic of the continued Israeli genocide against the people of Palestine. What continues to happen at the refugee camps in Gaza, in and around Rafah, are crimes against humanity. And we can now put ourselves in the people, in the shoes of the people around the world back during the Holocaust, when a genocide was happening right there in front of people's faces, and people either turned away, looked away, couldn't face it, denied accepting Jewish refugees to a number of countries, including this one. And what did America do? Nothing, until America got punched in the face by somebody else and was dragged into the war for those reasons, but not for the humanitarian reasons of trying to rescue the Jewish people from the Holocaust. But here we are witnessing a genocide happening right now, being committed by settler colonialists there in Israel. Okay. And this is all being documented extremely well. The Nazis also documented very well their war crimes and their crimes against humanity. But it is not the Israelis that are documenting what they are doing. Well, they are, but not in the same sort of meticulous way that the Nazis were doing it. They're documenting it. The IOF and IDF forces are recording themselves committing atrocities, I guess, for clout, right? I mean, because they keep recording themselves doing these horrific and atrocious things, and then they post it for people to see. It's like, why are y'all doing this? For views and clicks? Because you're proud of your actions? You think you're doing a good thing? You think you want to drive engagement? Like, what is the reason? Like, why would you show anyone, let alone the world, that this is how you're treating human beings, most of whom are women and children? Well, we've had another report given by the United Nations, and what it's almost a carbon copy of what has been presented before, what has been presented at the ICJ, what has been presented at the ICC. But the fact that these reports keep coming out tells us, number one, that these atrocities are ongoing and continuous. They have not ceased or abated at all. And that the drumbeat, the point needs to be driven home to every person walking this planet, that civilians are being targeted for destruction. These people in Palestine are being almost driven to extinction via bombings and via starvation. And I want us to listen to the presentation given by one of the investigators from the United Nations. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, this was being presented to the Security Council. Let me verify that, and I will confirm after we watch this clip. But what I want you guys to focus on, again, the atrocities, absolutely. But think about how much it resembles how the United States, well, yes, how let's start with there. How the United States dealt with and treated the indigenous and native peoples of this continent. Well, let's throw Canada in there too. How Canada and the United States dealt with the indigenous and native peoples of North America. But of course, we could extend that out to how the colonial, the imperial European powers did all of these things to the indigenous folks of this whole hemisphere, right? North, Central, and South America. Everybody pretty much got done the same way. And when I listened to the details being recounted in this report, it could easily be applied to what happened to Native people here, what happened to African people a lot of places, right? What's happening to indigenous people of many places around the world because of European colonizers. And the Israelis are colonizers. Also European colonizers, not from there. Y'all ain't even from fucking here. Here y'all is. The like gentrification on steroids is what is happening. So let's listen to the report. Let's take it away, Will.
Conclude
Start
that
from the
Israeli
beginning.
authorities are responsible for war crimes, crimes against humanity, and violations of international humanitarian and human rights law, including extermination, intentionally directing attacks against civilians and civilian objects, murder or willful killing, using starvation as a method of war, forcible transfer, gender persecution targeting Palestinian men and boys, sexual and gender-based violence amounting to torture, and cruel or inhuman treatment. Israel's total siege of the Gaza Strip has weaponized the provision of life-sustaining necessities for strategic and political gains, including through cutting off supplies of water, food, electricity, fuel, and other essential supplies, including humanitarian assistance. It constitutes collective punishment, disproportionately impacting pregnant women and persons with disabilities, and is causing grave harm to children, including starvation-related deaths. We found that the immense numbers of civilian casualties in Gaza and widespread destruction of civilian objects and infrastructure were the inevitable result of an intentional strategy to cause maximum damage, disregarding the legal obligations of distinction, proportionality, and adequate precautions. Israel also forcibly transferred almost the entire population into small enclosures that are unsafe and uninhabitable. The deliberate use of heavy weapons with large destructive capacity in densely populated areas constitutes an intentional and direct attack on the civilian population. Although Israeli officials have repeatedly stated that their operations in Gaza are intended to destroy Hamas and to release hostages, yet neither of these aims has been largely achieved at the expense of thousands of lives. We found that Israeli forces committed sexual and gender-based violence with the intent to humiliate and further subordinate the Palestinian community. Palestinian women were targeted and subjected to sexual violence and harassment online and in person. Men and boys experienced specific persecutory acts, including sexual and gender-based violence amounting to torture and inhuman and cruel treatment. The Commission concluded that specific forms of sexual and gender-based violence constitute part of Israeli security forces' operating procedures. Excellencies, the situation in the Gaza Strip has overshadowed that in the West Bank, where Palestinian fatalities recorded since 7th October have exceeded any other recorded period. This is linked to increasingly militarized Israeli operations, a trend which we highlighted in our report to the General Assembly last year, as well as a surge in violent settler attacks on Palestinian communities, often assisted or condoned by Israeli forces. The blatant disregard for international law across the entire occupied Palestinian territory has disproportionately impacted Palestinian children. In Gaza, Israeli security forces have killed and maimed tens of thousands of children, and thousands more likely remain under the rubble. Israeli attacks have also severely impacted infrastructure essential for the well-being of children, including hospitals, schools, and basic services.
So that was the Human Rights Commission giving their report, further explaining and detailing it with tremendous sadness. I think that's the same woman I saw give the report that she was speaking of to the United Nations General Assembly late last year, and she could barely get through the report. She was choking back tears because of some of the images that the Human Rights Commission had seen and assembled in order to prepare this information. And you heard there the sexual violence committed by Israeli forces against Palestinian civilians, men, women, and children. She said that was part of the Israeli forces' standard procedures. They probably trained for that, to be honest, right? She said that there has not been this many recorded deaths in Palestine since October 7th. This is the biggest number of deaths in Palestinian history since they've been keeping records of such things. More Palestinians have died since October 7th than at any other point in recorded history, right? But recent recorded history, right? It's a genocide. Thousands of children dead. She said thousands more probably under the rubble. And when we hear the numbers, 40,000, that's the people that they've been able to count, you guys. Those are the people that they've been able to lay eyes on and see and count them. Thousands more are probably dead. And Benjamin Netanyahu had the nerve to pop shit. And listen, I'm when it comes to Netanyahu versus Biden, you guys know I'm here for the white on white violence, okay? Benjamin Netanyahu is a white, okay? Make no mistake. He might be a multilingual white, sure. He's a white, okay? And if him and Biden want to tear each other apart politically, go the fuck right ahead. I do not care. But the United States is enabling and facilitating a genocide. There is no question about that. And I hope, even though I know, even if Biden loses and Trump wins, but Joe Biden should not be rewarded with a second term behind these atrocities. But here's the thing, guys. So the Israelis are running the Nazi playbook. Nazis was running the U.S. settler colonialist, settler colonizer playbook, right? So it's like, first of all, there is no subduing a people without genocide. There is no stealing of the land. There is no possession of the land that the colonizer can take from the indigenous folk, right? Without a genocide occurring. So this is what we're seeing. That's what the Nazis did. That's what the Americans did to the native people, and then by extension to what they did to Africans via chattel slavery. But please don't think that what's happening to the Palestinians right now could not happen to us right now, like right fucking now, okay? Like, I think everybody is in agreement that fascism is not something that's looming on the horizon when as it pertains to these United States. The fascism is right here, right fucking now. And while we could be distracted at the conservative targeting of the LGBTQ community, of the trans community. Those among our folks can be like, well, I don't know about them. I don't agree with that shit. I don't like that lifestyle. Uh-huh. It's all well and good until somebody don't agree with your lifestyle, okay? And your lifestyle may not even go as deep as your sexuality. Your lifestyle might just be you being Black and existing, okay? Like, so I seen this clip on Al Jazeera English that I thought was extremely relevant, especially considering what we talk about here on this platform, the rampant misuse and abuse of power by the state in the form of law enforcement, particularly against marginalized communities, first and foremostly against Black communities. And we all know the incestuous, let's call it that. Let's go hard with the words. The incestuous relationship between the Israeli military and American law enforcement. And I want you guys to check out this report from Al Jazeera English, because the first thing that came into my head once this woman began her report was Cop City. Fucking Cop City. And not just the Cop City in Atlanta, all of the Cop cities that our dear esteemed sister Renee Johnston has done tremendous work and research on. Please watch Saturdays with Renee, Saturday at 11 a.m. on Black Liberation Media. But go in the playlist and see where Renee has done this. And she's also spoken at different groups about the dozens of cop cities that are either currently being constructed or are in the proposal phase, in the planning phases, right? And where they get that idea from, all these cop cities, motherfucking Israelis. But y'all see what I'm talking about? Let's check out this package from Al Jazeera English.
Heard about mini Gaza? It's basically a ghost town in the middle of the desert.
Where Israeli soldiers.
Have you heard about mini Gaza? It's basically a ghost town in the middle of the desert, where Israeli soldiers train for urban warfare. The simulation city, which is located in the south of Israel and costs tens of millions of dollars, by the way, has 600 buildings, including schools and mosques that even broadcast the call to prayer. Soldiers there carry out combat exercises, usually down narrow streets with walls covered with messages like Free Gaza and portraits of Palestinian fighters, not painted by Palestinians though, but all painted by the Israeli army's official graffiti artist. But while this is happening in the Middle East, you might not be surprised to learn that US law enforcement officers are also being trained in these camps in Israel. According to Jewish Voice for Peace and researching the American-Israeli alliance, the exchange facilitates a transfer of tactics including police violence and control, mass surveillance, racial profiling, and even the suppression of protests and dissent. Since 2017, there has been a huge push to end what is being called a deadly exchange, but there's been little success with that. So, with the spotlight currently on police brutality at student encampments across the US, we're seeing more and more people calling for the divestment in Israeli military training. By deploying the same tactics, critics could say it's one and the same institution.
One in the same institution. And we see what the Israeli forces are doing right now versus a population that they deem less than worthy of respect, less than worthy of basic humanity. How do police treat Black people? How are people who are migrants coming across the southern border being treated? How are our LGBTQ family being treated? This what's happening, and I know y'all like, well, Kim, they may not come and like bomb Black areas. No, they may not. I mean, they've done it before. We know what happened with the move bombing in Philly in '85, right? And do I think that? Well, I'm sorry, you can't put nothing past crackers, okay? Do I think they do it again? No, I don't think so. Soon as you say that shit, the crackers will surprise you in the worst ways. But do I think that? I kind of do not, because They want to gentrify where we live, right? They want to live where we live. Like, look in DC, everywhere black people used to be is the whites, right? The whites is there. So no, they don't want to bomb our shit like they do in Palestine, but they might want to round us up and move us the fuck around at gunpoint under the threat of violence. You think Joe Biden's coming to save us? It might be under at Joe Biden's fucking direction for all the fuck I know. So I saw, okay, so there's that, right? And then Cop City, you heard the reporter there talking how the Israelis have spent tens of millions of dollars on this training facility, 600 buildings to simulate an urban environment, right? Cop fucking City. Who do you think those cops are training for? Who are they getting these tens of millions of dollars to cut down the forest in Atlanta, to cause environmental damage to the neighborhood and to the land, in order to train, to kill, to surveil, to racial profile whom? Us, you and me. And for the white folks, your black friends. Okay, maybe not y'all. But I mean, N-word lovers, oh, y'all can get it too. History has shown us that also. So there's all of that, right? And then there was another thing that caught my eye. And when I looked into it further, I realized it was something that had happened a couple of years back, but it had recirculated throughout the social mirror sphere, the social media sphere, the interwebs. And it had to do with a story coming out of Cook County. James, you may remember this. So there is a First Amendment warrior by the name of Amanda Berquist. And in 2018, Amanda would show up to the Cook County courthouse and run film on the piggies, right? Because Amanda's about that life. Okay. And of course, Amanda's a white woman. Privilege, right? And and to be honest, that's the shit I'm talking about. Like, y'all better flex that whiteness everywhere, every fucking where. I mean, don't flex it on black people, but you can flex it on black cops, though. I don't have a problem with that. Y'all can absolutely flex that whiteness on black cops, because fuck them. But Amanda Berquist was recording police outside of the Cook County courthouse in 2018, and they didn't like it, and they snatched her up, right? And they took her in front of a judge, and she got in a little bit of trouble. Long story short, she ended up suing Cook County. She won the lawsuit for a small amount. She won a judgment, I think, of $15,000 for her First Amendment rights being violated. But the deposition of the two officers that apprehended her because of her protected First Amendment activities of filming the police in public, which you are absolutely allowed to do, in spite of new laws being passed different places that now put a mandatory foot range that you need to be away from the police as they're conducting police activities. Again, another way that the state is trying to discourage civic engagement with law enforcement, or it's even worse, trying to discourage civic accountability for when police are acting illegally and intentionally violating people's rights. So anyway, back to Amanda. So she was suing Cook County cops. And the video that started to repercolate around the interwebs comes from the deposition of the two cops that stopped her. And I want you guys to listen very closely to the exemplary questioning that Amanda's attorney is giving these cops. And then listen very carefully to the unsurprising yet chilling responses given by these sworn veteran police officers, whom, if I'm not mistaken, in their oath of allegiance, whatever the fuck shit they say to become police officers, I thought that they swore to uphold and preserve the Constitution. But I don't even think in law enforcement, I don't even think they is reading the Constitution in the fucking academy. That must be when they have senior skip day, the day that they go over the Constitution. All the almost graduating cadets, they get to skip that day. Listen to the fucking questions being asked and answered in this deposition, y'all. It'll just make you shake your head. Will, let's run it.
Isn't it fucking appalling? You guys hear about that police
That's
training?
that's not the right one. I'm sorry. The one it says incompetent cops. I'm sorry, that's how I labeled it. Incompetent police. Let me get to my thing here. What I call it? Incompetent police.
Suspicion that she was committing.
Okay, yeah, start from the beginning. There we go.
Any reasonable suspicion that she was committing a crime, yes or no?
We weren't sure what she was doing.
Okay, so if you don't know what somebody's doing, do you have reasonable suspicion that they're doing anything in particular?
No, but we have a reasonable response to ask what she was doing.
Right, agreed. You could ask her what she's doing. And when she refuses to answer, are you now allowed to detain her?
Yes.
Who told you this? That you get to detain people who are videoing and refuse to identify themselves when asked? Are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment, by the way?
Vaguely.
What does it say in your own vague terms?
No illegal search and seizure.
Right, unless there's
probable cause.
Or?
That's about all I know.
Okay, all right, good enough. You said that's about all I know. All right, now, there was somebody else who asked you the same question that I just asked you about your familiarity with the Fourth Amendment. Who's in this room right now? Do you know who that person was? My client. Ms. asked you that, didn't she?
I don't recall.
She asked you, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment? You don't remember that?
No.
If I tell you that your answer was, oh great, why do we always get the crazies? Would you dispute that?
No.
Does that sound like something you would say to somebody?
That's something I did say that day, yes.
So you remember saying that?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember saying that in response to the question, are you familiar with the Fourth Amendment?
No, I just remember saying it.
Why is it that you felt she was one of the crazies?
Well, when people act in a way that is not in their best interest.
How is she acting that was not in her best interest?
Well, at any time, all she had to do was identify herself. We could have done everything could have gone the own.
And if somebody were to threaten you that unless you comply with their demands, they're going to put you in handcuffs, would you automatically necessarily comply with their demands?
Yes.
No object.
You would.
Calls for speculation.
He was able to answer. So you would. So even if there's somebody who is acting as a law enforcement officer, giving you an unlawful order, threatening you with detainment or arrest or 90 days jail, if you don't comply with their unlawful demands, you would still comply?
Yes.
Alrighty. Is that what you expected her to do, to comply?
Yes.
Law that requires people to identify themselves when requested by law enforcement? Did you delete her pictures?
No.
Who did?
Don't know.
You don't know who deleted her pictures?
No.
By the time you got in front of Judge Peter Felice, they were deleted, weren't they?
As far as I know, they were still on there.
You grabbed her camera away from her outside, did you not?
Yes.
From that point until you were in front of Judge Peter Felice, did she ever hold her camera again?
No.
Okay, so you had it the entire time.
Yes.
Didn't Judge Peter Felice talk to you about whether the pictures had been deleted?
He asked for the memory thing so he could delete.
Said that he asked you for the memory card because he wanted to delete the pictures. Is that your testimony?
Yes.
Okay. And if he were to testify at some point in time that he absolutely, categorically did not delete those pictures, then would you want to change your answer as to whether you or one of your people did?
I'm going to object. Calls for speculation.
No one had custody of the camera but me.
Okay. Would it have been lawful for you to delete her pictures?
I don't know.
What do you think? Are you allowed to go over to people's pictures and delete them?
No.
Without a court order?
No.
All right. That would be a violation of which amendment? Do you know? What do you do if somebody says they want to talk to a lawyer and you have them in handcuffs?
We allow them to call a lawyer.
Do you keep asking them questions?
Depends on the case.
Oh, I got you. Okay. Tell me the case in which you would continue to ask questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer.
If we're doing an investigation, we're going to ask.
I got you. Okay. Do you know which amendment it is that allows people to demand a lawyer? Do you have any idea?
No.
Have you ever read anybody the Miranda rights?
No.
You've never read anybody their Miranda rights?
No.
Have you ever arrested anybody?
No.
Other than Ms. Berquist?
No.
And you don't know the Miranda rights?
Not offhand, no.
All right. When you arrest somebody, do you have to advise them that they have the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that they have the right to an attorney?
Yes.
Do you have to advise them that if they cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided to them?
Yes.
Okay. Now, what if somebody says, yes, I want to talk to an attorney? Do you get to keep asking them questions? Or do you have to call a lawyer for them before you want to ask any more questions?
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't know if you're allowed to keep asking questions of somebody in custody after they ask for a lawyer?
No.
How long have you been employed at Cook County Sheriff's?
27 years.
27 years. I imagine you only became a lieutenant recently?
No.
How long ago did you become a lieutenant?
22 years ago.
You've been a lieutenant for 22 years and you don't know the Miranda rights?
Did you see the look? Did you see both of them dumb fucking cops? Both of them dumb fucking cops got stuck on what I would think would be the most basic elements of American jurisprudence, whatever jurisprudence means, on the fucking Constitution. Guys, here's the thing. When Democrats in particular, Republicans too, when all these bullshit ass American politicians scream and holler about the police just need better training, we just need better trained officers. What they mean is they need better trained officers at the cop cities, at the mini Gazas of the world, right? They need better urban warfare training. They need better mass surveillance training, better racial profile training, better harassment training. They don't need better training on the fucking Constitution and Miranda rights. Can you imagine? Although we do not have to imagine, and please believe, those fucking super troopers right there, they are not anomalies. You better believe that the majority of American police have no fucking clue what the Constitution is, what the Bill of Rights are, what civil rights are, what human rights are, what Miranda rights are, because they're clearly not being trained in the shit. How in the fuck this man, a Cook County sheriff, 27 years, a lieutenant for 22 years, this motherfucker act like he ain't never even heard of Miranda rights. This dumb motherfucker didn't know you have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be held against you in a court of law. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to you. This motherfucker act like that's just some shit to say. That shit don't mean anything. What you mean? If somebody asks for a lawyer, of course we can continue questioning them as police. They just ask for a lawyer. That don't mean shit. What you mean? I can't. Me speaking as a police here. What you mean? Police can't detain citizens in public doing protected First Amendment behaviors if they won't give up their name? Of course, we have a right to detain them. We don't have to wonder when fascism will arrive. Not only is it here, it has been here. And these dumb fucking cops are being enabled by the likes of the Biden administration and the Trump everybody. It serves all of the elite interests to make sure that police are unleashed, literally, not only just onto the public, but unleashed onto protected, well, not unprotected, marginalized groups first, as they have always been. And all right, one more video from this topic, because I mean, I looked a little. I didn't look super hard. And I follow this chick, and I think she isn't a criminal defense attorney. She's been giving pretty interesting commentary on that Karen Reed trial that's happening in Boston. Silberg, that shit's fucking crazy, right? And the Young Thug trial in Atlanta, which is also fucking bonkers. But she don't make this white lady do not miss an opportunity to slap the fucking cops, okay? Because as a criminal defense attorney, she very clearly understands, though I think, she's not 100% there on anti-racism, but she seems to be a nice white lady. she means well. But she gets it 100% right when it comes to the fucking cops. And in this video that we're going to show, that I wanted to try to find the original, and I couldn't find it on TikTok. And I really don't know where she got these clips from, but I take them as to be authentic. So actually, I can't do a whole lot of preface because she does a very good job of articulating what this is. But just know that what we're about to see is connected to police training. And what I have been saying to you guys for a while, and it's nothing, original or brilliant. However, that obviously the cops must control for hiring psychopaths and hiring sociopaths and hiring unapologetic racist and misogynist. Like, these must be who they are looking for. Like, they screen all the normal all the normal people, I guess. I don't know how normal you can be trying to be a cop, but all right. But people, I guess, who do well on the psych exams, there's no place for you here at the academy, in the department. We need them crazy motherfuckers. Come right on in. We got a spot for you. We got some guns. What you need? Some guns? You need some power? We got all of that for you to run reckless throughout the society. So anyway, listen to this lady. I'm very bad at getting people's names off TikTok. My bad. But anyway, watch the video. Let's check it out.
City, thousands of officers.
Started from the beginning, Will.
Want to see something fucking appalling? You guys hear about that police training in Atlantic City? Thousands of officers from hundreds of departments across the nation attended this training. Did you know that there's video evidence of the shit that they taught? While you watch this, keep in mind that when they testify that they did this, or this based on their training and experience, this is what they're talking about. Enjoy.
I love what the fuck I do for a living. There's nothing else I'm good at. I love violence. I love fighting. I love shooting, and I fucking love freedom. It wasn't that long ago that we were drinking out of the schools of our enemies. I'm gonna fucking murder this guy, then I'm gonna take his head, then I'm gonna cut his head in half, and then I'm gonna boil his skull, and then I'm gonna drink out of that skull. Fucking rad, right? I'm not sure the guy who's fucking recording you like, I am not a citizen of the United States under fucking Act 12, 6. Shut the fuck up, right? About to get pepper sprayed and fucking tased. Windows broken out, motherfucker.
We don't like treating Turks, right? You're like, fuck them. The ambulance can take care of them, right? And I had a problem treating, gangbangers and the people that were the pieces of shit of society, right? And I had a great mentor that told me, well, Sean, guess what? That's a live tissue lab, bro. Anytime you come to one of these shitbags, absolutely do the best you can. Absolutely. Because what if he gets hurt, right? Or she gets hurt, or he gets hurt? Then I can perform that flawlessly because now I've had some reps in. Everybody get that? Everybody with me on that?
There's more. There's plenty more. I just don't have the energy to go through all of it right now. Let me know if you want to see the rest. But this is what the fuck they mean. That first guy loves violence, loves fighting, and that's why he loves his job. Let that sink in. The next guy says he's gonna fucking fuck someone up, tase him, because he's reciting statutes. He's referring to sovereign citizens or auditors. And the last guy's saying that nobody wants to treat a piece of shit who they determine to be pieces of shit, but he's incentivizing them. He's saying, use them. They're a live tissue lab. Use them for practice, just in case someone who matters ever gets hurt. That's how they have to get incentivized. This training is not the only one of its kind. I have seen state use of force experts testify that, oh yes, they're completely justified in basically killing you if they look at you the wrong way, basically. And so because technically it was part of their training and experience, regardless of how militarized and egregious and fucking brutal that training is, well, it's justified because that's how our little robot was trained. This is the workaround for having any responsibility. You think that that training would have gotten anybody in trouble if it wasn't for the fact that the wrong person's eyes saw it? This is why most of them are not recorded. This is just how brazen these guys were, that they thought they'd record it. If this was not common behavior and culture, they would not be up there saying the shit they were saying, expecting to get the laughs that they got.
In the South, it's the Wild Wild West, South, wherever. You don't believe me? Run from Georgia State Patrol. You don't know what I'm talking about. Okay? Run from me. Somewhere along the chase becomes neither confirm or deny there's some videos out there with me doing just that.
Loser. That guy's Middle Eastern. And I don't know if you picked up on the self-hating fucking trope that he just fucking did with the la 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 la. If you run from me, I'm gonna shoot you. And then he thinks he's real fucking cool by saying, I can neither confirm nor deny there's a few videos of me doing just that. Oh my God, you're so cool and so fucking tough. Tell us how you got so cool and tough. You absolute fucking loser. Anyway, they're that brazen and that bold with their fucking delivery, expecting laughs, videotaping it, because this is the norm. It's the fucking norm. I want one person to defend this. I want one of you to defend this. Do it. Do it. I have nothing else to do tonight.
I like her. She's a good follow. Well, what's her name? Tell the people, look that up and tell me what her name is. See, the TikTok font is so small, I don't even bother to try to. I'm like, bookmark, cool. Whatever. But I know she is attorney. She does give really good insight and commentary on some of these cases, like I said. But y'all, thoughts on that training video? Thoughts? Anybody think that was an inaccurate video? Anybody thinks that is a deep fake, or that was AI, or somehow that was not really an actual police training, right? No. My audience over here is extremely clear-eyed in understanding that of course that was real. And just think about literally the decades and generations of police that have been trained in exactly those ways. In that same language, in that same dehumanizing verbiage about the public that they are allegedly there to protect and serve, the giddy and the pride that they express for brutalizing people. Like, it's fun to them. It's fun. It's part of the job. I fucking love this job, man. I love violence. I love beating people up. I love freedom. Said the fucking pig. Whoa. And these are the people that continue to get money by the billions per department. By the way, going back to what we saw, that testimony from those Cook County sheriffs who were giving that deposition, where neither one of those fuckheads knew fuck all about the Constitution, people's constitutional rights. They ain't know none about that shit. In 2023, Cook County, Illinois allotted a budget of over $100 million. I want to say the number was close to $120 million specifically to be used for payouts and settlements for when the police were sued. Okay. $100 million to cover up police brutality and their blatant and overt fuck ups, right? But again, what do we get as solutions to the gun violence problem? We get more police. We don't get mental health services. We don't get universal access to healthcare, mental or otherwise. No, we get more police. And what do the police get? The police get a budget for their oops, we maimed you. Oops, we killed you. Oops, we brutalized you. Oops, we violated your rights repeatedly and deliberately and intentionally. So here's some money. Shut the fuck up. Oh, and the gag is actually your money. Haha. Comes from the public. So shut the fuck up. Cops get to do what they want and also get to simultaneously not know shit at the same time. But this is where the gag is on us, guys. The gag is on us. So anytime, this is where we have to come in, right? You know, you guys know I'm not an organization, I'm not a political educator, but I am a common senseologist, deeply studied and practiced, and got some intense praxis around my common senseology. Get my suffixes and my prefixes right on my common senseologist in my expertise. But we can very easily tell our people, stop calling the fucking cops, right? The police are not there to help you in no way, shape, or form, right? If you call them for help, they are more likely to arrive and fuck you up or mistake you for the criminal. Don't call the police. As a public safety measure for our community specifically, we have to continue to tell our folks, do not call police to your home. And in response to property crime or actual violent crime, calling for more police in your community doesn't resolve that. And in a lot of our communities, I'm thinking of places just local, where the fuck I am. Listen, where they shooting now, they have been fucking shooting, okay? For a long time. They've been shooting down Southeast for a long time. They've been shooting out Landover for a long time. They've been shooting out fucking Baltimore City for a long time. And guess what? Police have been increased in their numbers and in their funding every single time, every generation, every fucking decade, and they're still shooting in the same fucking places. So if we can't do anything but simply point out the obvious to our people, show me how more police in your community equals safety. Where does it bring safety? More police in your community should not make you safe. That should tell you that how unsafe you actually are. And it's usually because the police themselves bring the violence. But it's because they are there to contain the elements of society that have been disproportionately affected that brings out violence in people. Poverty, as Kamala even said correctly. Yes, poverty is trauma. Abso-fucking-lutely. And the police's job, enforced by prosecutors such as Kamala, is to make sure that the people experiencing poverty stay right where the fuck they are. And that they take out the violence and frustration and desperation that poverty brings out of people. Make sure that them people stay right over there in that corner and take all that shit out on each other. That's why the police are there, to make sure that the poors stay in their place. And however folks respond or react to each other in response to these conditions, oh, well, fuck it. We'll just send more money to the cops and not more money to the people. So that's why we are team fuck these cops all fucking day. They keep proving to us that training is not their issue. Psychopathy is their issue. Racism is their issue. Misogyny is their issue. A outright disbelief or indifference to the Constitution that they claim that they are sworn to protect and uphold is their issue. They don't give a fuck about the Constitution. You start reciting your constitutional and civil rights to a fucking cop, they're going to do what that Cook County sheriff did, and that's call you a crazy. Oh, Lord. We got one of them crazy people who done read the Constitution. Put your hands behind your back, ma'am. Yeah. You want a lawyer? Okay. We'll see. Wow. They said they don't give a fuck. Sue them. It ain't their money. Qualified immunity, baby. So long as qualified immunity still remains the law of the land, these police have no incentive to do better. And please believe Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are not about to make the police do better at all. If anything, they are going to fund them more so they can train the same way the IOF and the IDF train to attack and hunt and murder and harass and maim Palestinians. They want to make sure that American police are trained in all that exact same shit so they can come back here and do all that exact same shit that to us. Fuck the police. Does that say 8:59? Oh man, I'm sorry, Will. I held you hostage. I'm gonna let y'all go. I had another story. I'm sorry, Abby. I'm gonna do the Denver story on Tuesday. Or maybe we'll do it on the Remix Morning Show. I didn't realize I was running my yam that much. My apologies. I'm very sorry. I'm very sorry. Will, can you accept my apologies, please? So you guys seen the movie Antoine Fisher? Y'all seen the movie Antoine Fisher? You don't accept my apologies, Will?
Nah, bro.
That's how it went to Antoine Fisher too. So, okay. So y'all remember after Antoine came back from the military, I think he was home or he was on a home visit, and he went to the house where he had been physically abused and sexually abused. And he came to the door, he knocked on the door, and the woman that had, sexually abused him answered the door. And he was like, I don't want to talk to you. Bring Big Mama out. And here come Big Mama, come to the door. Is that my boy out there? Oh, nigga. Come give me a hug, nigga. It's nigga, y'all. Nigga. That's me greeting Will. Every time I see Will, I say, oh, it's nigga. Come in. And then I can't understand why Will is mad that I have referred to him numerous times in this way. As Will does not reciprocate my hug. And I'm like, oh, nigga, what's nigga? Nigga, don't do me like that, nigga. So anyway, I'm sorry. You have to see Antoine Fisher. Will said he has not seen Antoine Fisher, so Will does not even fully get my joke here. I see laughing faces in the chat. Will, that must have been. See, they've seen Antoine Fisher. They seen it. Will, you were way late.
They haven't seen no damn Antoine Fisher.
Yes, they have.
They're laughing at your ass.
Super Patriot has seen it. Haven't you, Super Patriot?
Yeah, okay.
Super Patriot seen Antoine Fisher. You know what the fuck I'm talking about. So anyway, hold on. Someone actually ran us some bucks. Will, were you taking note of who was running bucks? My guess is you were not, because
Accentual ran us $10.
Awesome.
Said, thank you for the excellent work.
Thank you, Essential. Thank you for your support. Appreciate that.
She ready to kick me down before she even let me get the sentence all the way off. That's a Leo and a Kim thing.
Ooh. Stop being accurate. And that's it. That's fine if that's it. I appreciate. Thank you, Alicia. Thank you, Librarian. Yeah. Thank you to our new patrons. Thank you to everybody that continues to support this platform, supporting Black Liberation Media. That's been supporting the Help Ricky Get a Revolutionary Ride fundraiser and mutual aid thing that we're doing. So you guys have been showing and proving. And I thank you all. And please don't forget, Saturday, June 29th, if you are planning on being in the Washington area, I suggest you get there early for the live Remix Morning Show. If I was a better team player, I'd have had the flyer, but of course I forgot. But but it's over on Black Liberation Media. Under the community tab, you can find the flyer, 1301 Connecticut Avenue, Saturday, June 29th from 1 to 3. What are we doing at 1 to 4? Space is going to be limited, kids. Don't tell no that's between me and you, but space is going to be limited. So if you're intending to come and would like to be in the jam, you should probably try to arrive a little early. A little early. Yipper99, thank you so much for being in here. Appreciate. We got all the folks checking in. This is great. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. Don't fake. Jay Tooley. Peace, Jay Tooley. Are you related to Colin Tooley? Shout out to Status Quo News. I like the Status Quo community. They some good. There's some good white folks over there. I tell you, they do great work. Shout out to Colin Tooley. Colin pushes the buttons for Jordan and them over there. Colin's a good guy. I enjoyed conversations with Colin and speaking with Colin. He's a good guy. I don't know if Colin would get when I would call him like, Colin, tote that Tooley. I don't know if he got it. He might have got it though. With Colin's cool. Shout out to Colin. Shout out to Jordan. Shout out to Status Quo. Shout out to Kalechi Okafor. Shout out to Saturdays with Renee. Please go watch Saturdays with Renee. Saturday is a Saturday, EA, and watch Sundays with the Ear Doctor on Black Liberation Media. Shout out to Noli D. Noli D is in these YouTube streets as well. Lateef, Courtney, or Tyler, please, you guys can absolutely feel free to drop Noli D's YouTube channel or Instagram, whichever one it is, Noli D. I want the people to come follow you and see all the things that you're talking about. So shout out to Noli D, shout out to Infinite Content, shout out to our folks that are doing their own platforms. And we need to be supporting them as well. So we appreciate you guys. So thank you so much to Will and Molly. Special thanks to Will for his patience tonight. And we will see you guys back here on Tuesday for Burn It Down with Kim Brown. I'm getting my show is confused. For the Remix Morning Show on Black Liberation Media. All the things happen on Tuesdays. But thank you guys for all of your support. I appreciate it. Twitch, I hope you guys enjoyed the Twitch turn up on Wednesday. The shit was a jam. I had a blasty blast. And Twitter, I don't know what the fuck y'all doing over there, but you know, y'all can speak sometimes. It's all good. But anyway, we'll see y'all back here Tuesday, everybody. Y'all be safe. Happy summer solstice. See y'all later. Bye-bye. Peace, y'all. Peace, peace, peace.